Well, hey there folks, welcome back once again to the Hop House. It's Eddie here and it's time for another beer review. It's another virgin beer review as well, which means I've never had this beer before in my life. Now if you're brand new to the Hop House, I'm out in my garden, the sun's shining, it's hopefully starting to start spring a little bit early this year. But then I've heard that it's going to get colder again, so who knows. Now if you're brand new to this channel though, welcome along to the Hop House. We call that sort of like hoppy beer, we like house music, we're on the beer side. If you like either of those, or both, then give us one of those. Give us a like, share, subscribe to this channel. It sounds like your cup of tea. Okay, doing a couple of supermarket beers just to try and go through some of my stash. I just did the Kirkstall one that I picked up from Asda quite recently. This one I've had quite a while. It's been out quite a while. And the last time I checked it was still available in Morrisons. Do you want to see what we're reviewing? Okay, you can hear noises in the background. It's the weekend and kids are playing out on the street. Noisy buggers. Right, it is this. Thornbridge's Riffle. It's a West Coast IPA. It's a collaboration between Thornbridge and Burnt Mill Brewing, and it's coming in at 7% on the ABV. Some whopping ABV on that for a West Coast IPA. So, West Coast IPAs. Now, recently, I've had the Dig Brew. I've got another can of that in my box actually. The Dig Brew and North and Dig Brew Collab. That was stunning. That was absolutely brilliant. Probably one of the best West Coast IPAs I've had in the last year. Then I did the Salopian one, Kinetic, and although it said it was a lemon and lime IPA, I thought it was a West Coast all day long, and that was really good. So how's this gonna? This is a supermarket offering. This is, go away fly. This is £3.50 I think. £3 or £3.50? £3, £3.50. Take your pick. This fly seems to like me. Oh my god, I'm out with nature. What's going on? Bit of CO2 release on the opening. I'm using my H for Hop House glass. As you can see, the little bits are all around the outside of the glass. It was actually a Friends glass, but the Friends logo's gone and the Manhattan skyline's disappearing. So if you see little bits on the glass, go away, fly. Attacking me. Mirror in the glass. So West Coast IPAs we expect to be maybe darker in malt and a bit more see-through, less hazy. That's very light actually for what I'd consider a West Coast IPA. There is a bit of haze to it. It's got a lovely white head on it. Bit of lace division for those that love the lacing. For those that love lacing, look at that, like that. And then we jig it around. I mean, it's superb head retention. It's great how it's lacing. Sorry about the bitty glass. Hopefully it'll just be that H at one point for the Hop House, and then everything else has disappeared. But the little black bits are, yeah, they're all on the outside of the glass. They're not going to get in the beer. It's lighter than I thought for a West Coast IPA. Now, a couple of the West Coast IPAs that I had from Brewdog. They're in supermarkets. There was the Puppet Master and then the one with Buxton. They looked a little like this. So they've gone for a lighter malt bill. I actually prefer it when West Coast IPAs are a little bit darker, a little bit more amber. And you get the caramel, sort of a burnt caramel taste in the malt. I think that works well because it offsets the bitterness. So you've got that little bit of sweetness and then wham, it should go down the sides of the tongue. That's a West Coast IPA. They are adding the hops mainly into the boil process of the beer, the boil kettle, or the hop back, and so it's going to give you it's going to give you pithy, it's going to give you bitterness. So we're expecting grapefruit, pine needle, pithy orange, all these sort of flavors, rather than a mango and a mango and a pineapple and a tropicalness. We want bitterness from this. That's what we're after. But first of all, let's go for some aroma. Put that into there. Let's give it a whiff. See what we can sniff. I can smell pine and grapefruit. It's a good sign. Smell a little bit of dank earthiness as well. Like a little bit of dank, sweaty dankness. Not necessarily something maybe I'd expect in a West Coast IPA. But I'm getting the grapefruit and I'm getting the pine. I'm not necessarily getting... I'm getting a little bit of malt, but it's not like a caramel, burnt caramel malt. Not in the aroma anyway. Apologies for the kids in the background there. They're only kids, they're playing on the street, it's fine. Little cul-de-sac we live on here. It's all right. Right, let's try it. Bottoms up, down the hatch. Cheers. The caramel malt does come through in the flavour. It looks a bit light for it, but it does come through. It's quite sweet. Initial sweetness is from that malt down the middle of the tongue, down the sides of the tongue. You're getting pininess. It's starting to come in at the back end now. There's that grapefruit there. There's some pithy orange. There's quite a bit of pithy orange. It's very much maybe a beginner's West Coast IPA. Quite a safe one, and for Thornbridge I would expect it to be quite wah. Thornbridge brought out Jaipur. I mean, I know it's many moons back now, and if you didn't know the history, the Thornbridge head brewer at the time was James Watt, the guy behind James Watt or Martin Dickey? James Watt. No, Martin Dickey. One of them. One of the guys behind Brewdog used to be the head brewer at Thornbridge, and he created the Jaipur recipe. So he left him that as his legacy. That's all the beer in the glass. It looks darker on camera than how it is here. It is a blonde to golden colour, fluffy white head. There is haze to it, and it's not chilled haze. There is haze to it. I'd expect it to be clearer than that. West Coast, you can have a bit of haze, I suppose. It means it's not had finings through it, but they usually are more clearer, darker. It's trying. Like I said, caramel down the middle of the tongue, down the sides. That pithy orange is really, really there. It's like a pithy, burnt blood orange, sort of tangerine blood orange, quite pithy, like the peel, the rind of an orange. Little bits of grapefruit, little bits of pine, and then at the back end the pine comes in, but only about now. You've got to wait probably 30 seconds or so after you've swallowed it for that back end, for the aftertaste to come through. It's still sort of going up and down the sides of my tongue, so I quite like that. But for a West Coast IPA, I would expect more. I'd expect more wah, and it's not there. So it's not a bad beer, but it's pretty much a beginner's West Coast IPA. Now this is in a supermarket throughout the UK for £3. I'm sure it was three. It was £3 or £3.50. I'm gonna go with £3. I think the thing is with this craft beer boom, the craft beer boom, I think it's starting to go downhill now. I think we've had the peak and the trough's coming. I've noticed that even I went into Anthony's of Wellington recently, and they've cut down their amount of beer that they've got in. I know that there's a beer shop that I use in Birmingham. Their stock has really gone down and they're not replenishing it. So I think things like the cost of living crisis and things like that are having an impact on independent retailers. And go have a look at Scott from Scott on Wonders World. Go have a look at, he did a video with Chris from Chris's Beer Reviews about the status of the industry. So I'm not really going to comment too much on that. I just say my little bits. But coming back to this, I've just gone off topic a bit there, so I'm bringing it back. This is probably this is West Coast beginner guide to a West Coast IPA, because it does fit with the style, but it's just not wire enough really. And I think maybe some supermarkets are playing it a bit safe, because you're expecting people now to pay $3 or $3.50 a can, and there's probably less people that can afford it. So is everyone going to end up drinking bloody Hop Foundry beers? Christ, I hope not. That is. It's not horrible beer. It's okay. I can drink it. I'll finish it. It's not going down the sink. It'll get a thumbs up. Don't think I'll give it any more than that though. The pithiness of the orange saves it. Otherwise, it would be quite a safe and bland beer for a West Coast IPA. It's the first time I've ever had anything from Burnt Mill Brewery. I have got another beer that I've got from Burnt Mill Brewery that I got from Morrisons as well, but that'll have to come in another set of reviews because I'm just doing the one more today after this. But I'll finish that. It gets a thumbs up. So that is Thornbridge and Burnt Mill's Riffle, 7% West Coast IPA, beginner West Coast really. It's alright, it's okay. There you go. Thank you very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time right here for some more beer reviews. Ciao for now, people. Ta-ra.